It's such an amazing journey, Daniela. I didn't even know much about this disease. I'd heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. What is autoimmune? Is it called autoimmune deficiency, or what do you call it?
They call it autoimmune disease.
Mhm.
It basically is when your immune system attacks your body, and it comes in different forms. And the weird thing is, it sounds so unfamiliar to a lot of people and to us, especially in the start. But things like eczema, which we think is a regular thing to be like we are born with it, is actually a sign of autoimmune already.
Ah, okay, yeah, that makes sense because yes, my wife used to have eczema, and they had to change her diet for that, and it stopped
Mhm.
manifesting itself. So, what was particularly amazing about your story is you were super fit, or at least you looked super fit in the video before you were diagnosed.
I think that's also why a lot of people were very shocked when I got sick, because they always saw me as a fit person or someone who took care of herself. And I thought I was also doing that. I would eat regular food, regular meaning home cooked meals. I'd indulge once in a while pizza, fast food, chips. But I felt like I was having a decent lifestyle like everyone else. I wasn't the type to midnight snack a lot. I would do that once in a while, and what I do a lot is work out. So I thought that as long as I was working out, um, I was okay, because at least I was doing proper exercise. I was running. I was a varsity player before, badminton when I was in high school. So I thought I was totally fine. It was really when I started working that signs started showing, and I didn't realize that it would lead to what happened to me 2 years ago.
How common or rare is this particular condition?
It's actually very common. I was shocked because I'm the type to share my story or share a lot of things in my life, take pictures, take videos, and I would post it a lot. And when I got sick, I decided to post it also because I was so shocked about the type of condition that it was and how common it was. And when I did that, people were messaging me left and right. Even my old schoolmate apparently had this disease, but I didn't know. She was just more quiet about it. There was a mom that messaged me. Her 12-year-old daughter has lupus, and which is also an autoimmune. And a lot of them were asking me, "What did you do? Who did you go to? Who did you talk to?" Because I guess they were so shocked that my recovery was fast. And it's shocking because when you actually read about it or watch videos of other patients, it took them like years to see signs of healing, and it's because they didn't know how to deal with it. They were just following, let's say, whatever was prescribed to them, and they were taking all these meds because, oh, I need to fix my condition, take these meds. But later on, a part of the body would start reacting to it. Oh, this is part is reacting, then I have to take another set. So these are actually my meds when I got out of the hospital. It's full of steroids and immunosuppressants to stop the disease from being active. So it is very common. A lot of people are just not aware.
How life threatening is this?
Well, first is when you have an autoimmune, there are high chances of you developing cancer, especially if it's in your family, which it was in mine. So when I met with my doctor, he was a rheumatologist. He said we need to clear everything related to cancer. So they did tests all over my body. He did the tests one by one, trying to clear out everything, and so far everything was okay until they had to really look into the antibodies already, to see what this autoimmune was. I think it also really depends on your body's ability to fight it. Like if I got this much older, I would have a harder time showing signs of recovery. But because I was 27, so I'm young, I'm still strong, and there are more chances of showing signs of recovery. But you don't actually really heal from an autoimmune. You are just able to tone it down, to avoid flare ups. But let's say if I go back to my lifestyle before, it can easily flare up again.
And obviously, if you have this, I am gathering that you become susceptible to every other disease, right? If your immune
Mhm.
system is down. I guess. So not just your degenerative, but any colds, etc. How have you been now during COVID-19? I mean, that you must have been one of the most scared people out there.
Of course, everyone in my family, they're like, you're not allowed to go out. Everyone else took turns going to the grocery. But it was me that they said, don't go out at all. And my friend who's a doctor also said, Dan, since you're taking immunosuppressants, please be careful because it is basically stopping your immune system from acting up. And if your immune system isn't there to defend your body from all these virus, then most probably I'd get sick, but luckily I didn't. It's so funny because the medicine that Trump promoted, HCQ, is actually what I'm taking. And so now I tried to get my medicine in the drugstore and it's sold out. So
Wow.
I was
You've got
actually kind of panicking over the break, but I tried it. I said, okay, since I've been doing a good lifestyle for the past year, get rid of all the meds, which I did. And so far I've been okay.
hydroxychloroquine, isn't it? That's the one
Yeah,
he
that's
was
the one.
he was promoting, which is not for COVID-19, but it is effective for many other conditions, including yours. And now,
Mhm.
because of all you have to do is just put that information out there. People panic by the wrong thing, and people who legitimately need it, like Daniela,
Mhm.
get it. So that's the problem when you deal with fake news or jumping the gun. You tackled most of this through diet, right? That seems to
Mhm.
be where you got most of your recovery from. We also
Mhm.
have a question here from, I think, Ted was asking about, are you on a plant-based diet? Have you tried that? What are you doing?
My doctor is Raymond Escalon. I went to life science and I learned about him because my fiance's family actually went to him, some of them, to get treated for certain things. And they were telling me that you might want to check him out because he will help you in terms of your overall lifestyle, not just prescribe certain things for you to take. So I went, we did several tests. He took like urine, stool, they sent it to the States to see what bacteria or any virus they saw in my waist. And we also did an elimination diet. So it's kind of like the 4 months allergy test where you eliminate everything like pork, beef, corn, um, gluten, dairy, and you go to the basics and you have to eat really clean and fresh food. That was really a struggle in the start because we were cooking with whatever oil we saw in the grocery. We would eat Pinoy food full of all these different ingredients. And we thought that was normal. But then my doctor was like, no, you can't cook with this oil. You cook with this. You make sure you buy this from there. So that alone was so overwhelming. And at the start of my diet, it was bland. All my food was bland. And I was like, oh man, I have to do this for 21 days. And the reason why you do it for 21 days is because you need to clean out your system of all the toxins. And when you do that, of course, I lost even more weight. I got weak, I got headaches. You really is crash at a certain point because you are ridding your body of everything that all the dirty things that are in it. So I did that. And after 21 days, you reintroduce. So this was guided by my doctor. And he said, okay, for the first week, you introduce beef. So I tried the beef and then, which I've been eating my whole life. And true enough, when I woke up the next day, I had red cheeks and my throat was full of mucus and it was itchy. And I was like, what is this feeling? I've never gotten this before. I've been eating beef since I was a kid. So that is what the elimination diet is supposed to do. It's supposed to tell you what your body is actually allergic to. Kasi as kids, like sometimes, kunwari, another thing I had, so this is my photo of me with my red cheeks when I woke up after eating beef. Another thing I tried was the dairy. As a kid, I remember after I eat my Cocoa Crunch cereals in the morning, my stomach would be so painful. On the way to school, so painful. But I love Cocoa Crunch so much. I'd just go to the bathroom after, then I'd feel better. And I thought that was perfectly normal. And when I did this elimination diet and I reintroduced the dairy, I realized also that I couldn't take dairy. I felt like barfing the whole day. as if it was just here in my stomach. And I told my doctor, and he was like, yes, that's a sign that you can't have dairy. Aside from that, one of the tests from the States showed that I had a bacteria that was feeding on lactose. So, in order for us to remove that bacteria, you really cannot eat dairy because that will provide food for it. So, that one was also another sign that I really had to stay away from it. And from that whole elimination diet, I found out that I can't have gluten, shrimp, and dairy.
Would you say this is for everyone with your condition, or is this dependent on your body, your blood type, or other things as well?
It's super dependent on the person. There's no one formula for all. That's why a lot of people, when they would recommend, oh, why don't you try fully plant based, or why don't you go like vegan? It works for some. There are others, they try it and they keep getting sick. And it basically means that it's not the diet for you. You have to find what your body actually needs. Like I found out in one of my tests that I was deficient in vitamin D. So I actually had to have some supplements to help me with that. Now, that won't be the same for other people. They might be deficient in something else, and that's what they have to take care of and take in more of.
So, if people are going through this, or just happen to stumble across this podcast and go, "Oh my gosh, I've got that," where can they get their support group, or do you offer, advice for people who are going through this?
I guess what really helped me was learning about it. Now I keep trying to read or try new things. Like I'm taking a life coaching course. I'm reading. I'm doing meditations. I'm trying out so many different things to help myself because I feel like that's the only way. Especially because my trigger is stress. That's the only way for me to be able to learn about it and um, to face it and understand and know how to deal with it.
Well, that's great, and we really admire your courage and everything that you've gone through, and how you've put this positive outlook to it. It's really, really encouraging. Let's end with a plug for your dad. How important is a clean environment for you?
Oh, super clean. So my dad is the one that provides the steam cleaning machines, and that's why every time someone comes home from the grocery, they're steamed for sure, um, all the time. Because you know what's one thing that might be shocking to a lot also? Molds. There, if you watch Diagnosis on Netflix, you will learn a lot about autoimmune and how different things that you didn't realize were around you were so bad, like quality of air, quality of water, having molds in your house. That's really bad. And I remember watching one video online about this girl saying she would go to doctors and she'd say like, I feel so bad. I feel like this, fatigue. But then when they do tests, it's so clean. Yun pala, there was a leak in her neighbor's apartment that built up the molds and that was affecting her. So things like that.
Like
That's
inside the
why
room,
it's so
like it was
inside the room.
walls. Oh my God, that's the
Yes.
worst. You don't
Yep.
even know, but yeah, that's terrible. So we
Yeah.
saw a video there while you were
Mm.
talking. Is that your dad spraying spraying the groceries with steam?
Yeah, I think it was my mom
Okay.
who was doing that. But that is the steam machine. We use it everywhere. We use it for cars. We use it for the grocery. We use it for the bathroom, most especially, like by the sink, even in the kitchen, because that's where we prepare the food. So we always make sure to clean that so often to make sure that there's no buildup.
So we'll leave it at that. But thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your advice. Good to see you looking so well. So are you
Thank
back to your
you.
ideal weight already? Are you back to your normal weight?
No, not yet, but getting there. I've gained. I've definitely gained. I'm back to 100 for sure. I was
Wow.
down to 92. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Well, good luck in all of that. And I'll be checking up with your dad every now and again, see how you're doing. Thanks for joining us on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Daniela Gamboa. What a
Thank
story.
you.
You're welcome. That's Daniela with an amazing story of how she was able to basically huh, fight through that's a pretty tough disease to have, right? I mean, autoimmune deficiency syndrome, not deficiency syndrome, that becomes AIDS, right? It's a similar type of thing where your immune system starts attacking your own body. So you can imagine how scary that is and how susceptible she will be now to all of these other different viruses. But with a healthy diet and with a positive outlook and stuff, she was able to get her weight back and recover a lot quicker than her doctors thought. So I guess that's good advice worth sharing with all of you out there.